Strength through surrender. That sounds a little paradoxical, right? We are taught that strength means power and control, the capacity to push harder, hold tighter, power through all the blockages. But you know what? The truth is, there is a deeper kind of strength, one that does not come from resistance, but from letting go, from release. And that, my friends, is the true paradox. Surrender is not weakness. It is a sacred power that arises when ego lets go and the soul acts through you. The understanding of this paradox can come from realizing true surrender is not passive. Let's be clear. Surrender is not about giving up. It's about giving over the control, not collapsing in defeat, but consciously releasing what no longer serves you, who you are becoming. In Vedantic tradition, this is known as Saranagati, the surrender of small selves to the higher self. Is the movement from ego control to alignment with the soul. Abandon all duties and surrender unto me alone. This is the message of the Gita. This isn't about abdicating action. It's about aligning with something greater than your personal will, thinking beyond yourself. But then why surrender? That is because surrender is the pathway to flow. Have you ever experienced those moments when things just click, they fall in place? Not because you force them, just because you let go. Now, friends, that's not coincidence. That is congruence, coherence, flow. In neuroscience, actually, this is the word that it comes from. In neuroscience, we call it flow state, a heightened state of consciousness that arises when prefrontal cortex relaxes and when we enter a rhythm beyond the rational thinking, calculating, controlling mind. It is a surrender. The body softens. The nervous system automatically regulates. The intuitive mind awakens. This is where we find deep creativity, even love and healing. They emerge to the surface. And by the way, the converse of it, resistance, is actually exhaustion in disguise. When we hold on too tightly to expectations, outcomes, or even identities, I am this, I am that, we generate so much friction within us. We think we are staying strong, but often we are simply too tight, too tense, I once worked with a leader who had built immense external success, but was constantly anxious, constantly exhausted, and always on edge. It was only after, some life-altering experiences when he surrendered his image, his need to be seen in a particular way, look a particular way, did the true peace begin to return. Sometimes the strongest thing, the most powerful thing you can do is to let go of what you thought you needed to be. So the secret contradiction really is this. When we stop resisting life, life begins to carry us in a state of flow. Surrender is not giving up your power. It's giving up your illusion of control. Let me say that again. It's not about giving up control. It's about giving up your illusion of control so that your true power can flow through you. Take a moment, take a breath today and ask yourself, what am I still trying to control out of fear? Control, by the way, almost always comes from fear. What would it feel like to let life lead for a while? Or in other words, let life find its flow. Can I soften my grip a little bit? Just enough to let the grace of the universe into my life? You are not weak for surrendering. Surrendering is a virtue of the wise. You are brave. And perhaps it is in this letting go you will finally touch that deep strength that does not burn you out. But regardless of what happens in your life, it holds you up with power, with presence, with dignity, with purpose. And that is an experience of innate strength through surrender. One of the challenges with the word surrender is that surrender is a very bad translation of the word called Sharanagati, which I used a little while earlier. Sharanagati in Sanskrit essentially means seeking refuge in. It brings up an image that I'm surrendering to the state of flow in which I will be infinitely safe, like I am in a refuge. Surrender somehow becomes like somebody is saying, hands up and surrender, put down your weapon, instead of coming from a place of letting go with safety and finding refuge, which is what the word Sharanagati was meant to be. And some of this paradoxical understanding really comes from not having the accurate experience and descriptive, embodied, felt sense understanding of surrender.